right, everybody, welcome to another edition of What's What BR. Again, we have Brian Kaiser with us today from Elite Gymnastics. We have Johnny Moyal with us as well from Elite Gymnastics, and we have the world-renowned, world-famous Carly Patterson, Olympic champion from 2004. We're going to have to hear a little bit of that story, Carly, if you can, a little bit. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Doing good.
We've got audio. Everybody's good. So this is the new format for watching entertainment. It's broken out in little boxes, and everybody uses different, aspect ratios. So anyway, so we wanted to get everybody back here. Let's have a conversation. Obviously, we have a household name with us today, Carly Patterson. Right out of the gate, Johnny, can you tell us how you and Carly came? Where these dots connect? You, Carly, Elite. How did this happen? When did this happen? For a history lesson for some of our millennials here.
Sure. That's a very unique story. We were in work, having a team day, and then Elite Gymnastics is hosting some terrific birthday parties. Carly was invited. It was her cousin or somebody, and everybody was in one area, and I keep noticing a little girl jumping on a trampoline. And, my God, she drew my attention. I mean, she was so quick, so amazing. She was about 5, 6 years old, and I remember walking to her, and I said, what's your name? My name is Carly. And I said, would you please, I gave her my, I said, would you ask your mom to please call? Because I want to talk to her. So here we go. My phone rang on Monday, and her mom called me. Said, yes, my daughter told me you wanted to call, and I said, look, watching jumping and having class, and I think you got an amazing talent. It's like naturally athletes, and I said, would you mind just put in gymnastics and let's see how far we can take. Going 2 years that, started the program, and 2 years after that, she was doing amazing. I remember I'm calling her mom and I said, look, I'm not going to promise you anything, but Carly is an Olympic material, and normally I never promise anybody. I can't predict the future. Got everything it takes. From there, everything fell in place, and here we go, 2004 Olympic champion, and one amazing young lady, very humble. One of the best personality I've ever been around, and really, that's everything. That story. So here we go.
So we all just need to go away. We can end it there. I think that sums it up. We're done. But I have nothing good to say at this point. I'm a horrible person. So.
I don't know if I've ever heard Johnny tell this story, so that was cool.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was a unique, even as a young competitor. Carly, do you still have the duck that my wife given you during competition and kept you safe? Yeah, I bet you do.
I've got so much of my stuff in bins that my mom had at her house for forever, and she finally is like, okay, take it all.
I just lived that about 3 weeks ago. So.
Right. But the bottom line, like we always say, we did it for the right reason, in the right way. We're family oriented. Carly's still like one of the daughters that I have, and not this amazing Olympic champion. She is Carly for me. So that's what it is.
Wow. That's a story. That's some shoes to fill. I don't know where we're going to top that. By no means anywhere close to Olympian here. About the closest I get to is, watching it. So, Brian, this is big shoes to fill for the gym, right? This is legacy. This is the alumni, that we have here. We've got, is it 2004 all around? Am I saying the right term? All around gold medalist. So it's like,
yep, you got it.
Best in the world at all of it. Like, bring your game, right? So
right.
Hey, congratulations.
That's the medal you really want.
That's the one you're going for, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations to somebody. It looks like I'm probably 16 years late, but better late than never. So Brian, this is, like I said, this is the legacy. This is the alumni that you have at the gym, and this is what you're not building. The gym's not there just for Olympic athletes, but what the funny thing is, the same exact story. The story started the exact same way. The last time we talked with Ray, it started with a birthday party.
Yeah,
I find it funny that it's both Harley and Reagan. Somebody had a birthday party. They showed up, turned out, found something that they liked. And it's not that Elite is trying to just build. It's not an Olympian factory, right? It's about fun. It's about a family. It's about a culture. It's really having the kids. But there's some real talent that's coming out of the gym. Is that's still the case, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. And taking it from Johnny. Johnny started the legacy of that, and then trying to build on it. And the interesting thing is, other clubs I've been at, we found the most talented kids in much the same way. They came to a kids' night out or a parents' night out. They came to a birthday party. They came to an open gym, and one of the coaches noticed that they had a little bit more ability or aptitude than some of the other kids, and invited them to a class. And then here you go. So this is something that we'll continue to do, and we'll continue to look for talent. But we want all the kids to get to experience gymnastics and get the love for the sport and get the most out of it that they can.
That's awesome. So Carly, you've probably had every interview. I'm going to just be on the first to tell you I'm going to be the worst person to do this, but try just to, ask some, what's that journey like? So it started here in Baton Rouge at a young age. I forget, but sounded young, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll put it there somewhere. You can fill in the blanks. What's the Reader's Digest version? Is that, trained through here, just fell in love with it? And then was there a point? Do you remember the point when someone goes, hey, this isn't just like, this is fun, but you're really good? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah. I mean, starting, I think everyone's always surprised that I got started from a birthday party, but it was like, I knew at that birthday party, that was my first time ever being in a gym before. And I just fell in love with it, like right then and there that day, and just developed this passion just immediately. And I just remember leaving the gym that day and after the birthday party and begging my parents to, put me in the sport. And then so after a lot of begging, maybe a few months, I can't remember how long it actually took, but they put me in, and I'm sure Johnny's call helped persuade them. And started. I remember starting off once a week, and then it just really gradually but quickly went from once a week to 3 times a week to every day to Sundays to then like 2 workouts a day, or not Sundays, Saturdays. So it was one of those things where I just remember it kind of all happening kind of fast. And, I remember Johnny just telling my parents and me, like, you have a really, amazing talent. And I think if we can, keep upping it and, see where this takes us, we'll see where it goes. And, my parents and myself, at that young of an age, we never envisioned the Olympics or even had that thought in our minds at all. It was just, I love doing it. I always wanted to go more. I always wanted to be in the gym, and it was just something that's what I wanted to do. That's where I wanted to be. And I think the passion, along with the talent, along with the hard work, is where that great combination really came from, and why I was able to, achieve what I was able to, along with obviously supportive parents and amazing coaches. And, it just kind of started from this little, like I said, birthday party, and ended up at the Olympics, who no one would have ever dreamed or thought.
That's what, was interesting when you were telling the story. I was thinking about it. This isn't a family legacy, right? There's not, everyone's, was, family into gymnastics, or was it like, no, we're just going to a party,
Yeah.
I've talked to some people that have, I've talked to some other people that have, been to nationals and different sports and Olympics and things. And a lot of them, it's, oh, it's my family's done this, since I was 2 years old. I was told, it's like they were born, and it's like, every night they're talking about, eat your, beans, you're going to the Olympics. It doesn't sound like that was, your story. It was like, hey, we're going to a party,
Yeah, no, not at all. It was definitely just a random fluke thing. I mean, my mom was a gymnast for a few years growing up because her mom, my grandma, just loved gymnastics. And so she always wanted my mom to be a gymnast. And so my mom did do it for a few years and kind of got to that like around optional level, but then she started pretty late. And so it just kind of had to end at some point for her. So she didn't do it quite as long or get to the level I did. But, even so, with her, having done gymnastics for a few years, that still wasn't something that she was thinking or a plan or anything. It just happened to be my cousin, who wasn't even a gymnast, decided to have a gymnastics birthday party. So she actually will still tell you and we'll laugh about it to this day that I owe her big time. So, and I guess I do.
That's fine. Yeah. I have twin boys, and they play soccer. I go to every game. I go to the practices, but I've never once like, oh, maybe we'll go be in the World Cup one day. It's just like, it's not there. But it sounds like for you at some point, you're just going to practice, and then you've got somebody like Johnny stepping in here going, I see something. There's something there, and igniting that fire, but what I think is good is it sounds like it didn't turn into work for you. It was more of just a passion of, I want to be doing this. It's my daughter. If she moves from one room to the house, she doesn't walk, she cartwheels, through it, and so that's, that's what she loves to do.
Yeah, it was in my blood for sure. And, like I said, the gym was where I always wanted to be. So when I got to start going, all day, every day, and I remember going to school in the middle of our practices, and we had a teacher there, and Johnny had built like a whole classroom for all of us to go and do our school at during the middle of the day when we weren't working out and it was our break time. And I don't even think I stopped doing gymnastics when I got home after doing it all day, every day. It was just like my body was just always wanting to do it. I can't remember where I was going with that, but it was definitely in my blood, and something that, once Johnny started like refining things and, really like teaching me more and more about like what, where we could go and what could happen and the potential that we did have, that's when things just got even more lit with fire and passion of like, okay, I want to keep doing this. And, definitely relate on the cartwheeling from, room to room and the backyard gymnastics and everything else. Always wanting to do it and show off.
We've lived that. We've done how did you break your arm? Oh, you were trying to do a back handspring? Okay. Johnny's promised to teach my daughter how to do it the right way, and not have her go rogue. And I get random calls from the school that I need to come up there, and they're kind of doing that. We think it's broke, and we're like, you can see it. It's there. So we've lived that this year.
Definitely not ready for that stage of like broken bones and stuff. I can barely handle like a bumped head. So
well, you put me right there. That's where I was going. You've got two of your own now, right?
Yeah,
that's why I think you said we're scheduling this now. We're in nap time.
It's during nap time. Yes, I've got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, and so life is pretty crazy, being basically full-time mom right now and raising my babies, but they have lots of energy. So everyone always asks me if gymnastics is in the future for them. And, it's kind of one of those things where I feel like I I want them to try lots of things. I want them to just do whatever they love. I really, really want them to be in sports, of course, for sure. And then gymnastics is just one of those sports that I think sets you up for all other sports, anything that you want to do. You know, it's just great for a young kid, their fine motor skills and just balance and, you know, hard work and dedication and, you know, all of those other lessons that I learned in the gym that you can take with you in your everyday life as you grow up. You know, so, I mean, I would let them be involved in gymnastics or anything they want. But like I said, gymnastics is really, I think, the best foundation that you can have for your kids. It's just going to help with all of it, your whole body.
Yeah, I can imagine that is the question you get, you know, with the kid. Are they going to be in gymnastics? I don't know how you know, yes, we'll let them try, but no, we're not forcing, you know, it's not like we've already planned their future. You know, it's whatever they want to do. Yeah,
well,
right.
I think the other thing too about that is like, it would make me so nervous, like reaching what I reached in the sport, and then having to like turn around and be like a gym mom. That sounds scary because I wouldn't be the one doing it and controlling it. And I would know what those moves feel like. And, you know, the nerves from the competitions and all that. And just knowing like, there's nothing I can do about it. I would just have to sit and watch and hope for the best, just like my parents did. Right. So that is the part that I think about and laugh and think, oh my gosh, I would not even be able to handle that. Like, and then I go, how did my parents like, let me do this? Or, you know, how did they get through it?
I went the other way of if I had to go and do it and look and go, well, my mother, she does know what she's talking about here. You know, she did win, you know, the gold all around, you know, so it's when you try to give that just with all of our kids, it's, you know, sometimes it's like, we know better and it's, they don't look at it, you know, in your case, it's like, look, I'm telling you, and why do you name on the wall? You know, it's that kind of thing right there. You know, it's like, trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
I wouldn't want them to have to feel that pressure that they needed to live up to any sort of expectation just because, you know, I did win an Olympic gold medal. Obviously, I wouldn't want them to live in any kind of shadow or feel that pressure for sure. It'd have to be because they love doing it so much. And you know, I think I've gotten the question so many times, like, did your parents push you to do it? Did they make you train that much and be in the gym that much? And it's like, no, absolutely not. Like, you cannot make a kid be in a sport or train that much and that hard. You just can't make them do that. That has to come from them, from within, from the passion that they have. And like I said in the beginning, it was like that passion just developed immediately, and that's where I wanted to be. And I grew up, you know, watching my sister do like a sport during, you know, a season, and she tried it all and never, you know, we're just the exact opposite sport wise. You know, she tried it all. I stuck with the one thing that I found and loved and was good at. And then you know, I did get to watch her kind of grow up in more of in the normal life of going to school, like a regular school, you know, hanging out with friends or going to do this on the weekends or staying up later, you know, whatever it might've been. And I did get to watch her live that normal life. And, you know, there were days where I was like, oh man, that'd be nice sometimes. But at the same time, the overruling feeling of it all was, no, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. This is my goals. And, yeah, so that's where I knew that even seeing my sister live a normal life and knowing the hard work and what I was having to put in to get to the goals I was wanting, that's still what I wanted to do ultimately.
That's awesome. So obviously, new mom, that's a full-time job and a half. I know that with my wife. Mine 11-year-old daughter and 7-year-old twin boys. So it's just it's a cycle around here is what it is.
Yeah. The twin thing. Wow. I mean, mine are 16 months apart. That was hard.
Wow. So I've got a note here, and I don't know if who wants to, you know, dive in here, but obviously, you know, kind of the next chapter is a preview, or I don't know if it's kind of everybody knows, but up here we've got Brian, yourself, Johnny, you guys are working on something kind of big for the Baton Rouge area. Is that correct? We've got some kind of competition we're trying to put together. Is somebody fill me in, because I'm just not the guy to use the right words on this, because I don't know what they're called.
Johnny.
Yes, well, we took Carly because Carly is a homegrown, and we wanted to do. We've done an invitation meet, it's a national recognized meet. This upcoming year, we would like to invite everybody that will be in a position where people will travel. We can get back to normal, and this is going to be our 30th anniversary of elite gymnastics. But we make it also the Carly Patterson Invitational, and we're going to do it together because this is home, Carly. We want the whole state to recognize that this is our invitation. It's about pride of hosting and having great competition. Now, I would like to do something Carly said earlier that I think is very important that she had mentioned. You know, Carly Patterson is very unique because she has never accomplished anybody else's dream. There was always Carly's dream doing. She never was full of pressure because somebody had dream for the Olympic, her mom or dad or a cousin, never. So she accomplished her dream and not anybody else's dream. And she had the right environment to accomplish that. And that is so important. And the most brilliant thing about her too was that she has not mentioned was a strong mind. She has done the work, she has done everything else, but she possessed. And that's something that we've seen at a very young age. She had a clear mind. She was able to focus in her own Carly's world. There was a pressure situation in young age, but Carly have separated herself from the rest of the world, and she knew how to focus. You have to have a strong mind to control talent in the world, and I think that's what made her a very unique and successful person. And she's going to be great parents because of that, because she has a mind that is very clear and pure, and she knows how to focus without a lot of noise. So that is so unique. Anyway,
That's the one thing I thought with, just to jump into that, for from the focus and the dedication. I'm sure everybody's probably said this 100 times, but I've watched some of these like floor routines where people, run and you're flipping and flying all over the place. That has to go wrong a lot of times in the beginning, to where you've got to fall and it's got to hurt, but then you've got to somehow get back up and just focus and just go, I'm going to do it again. It's not
Right.
many, you jump off the roof of a house, and it hurts. You don't go get back up and do it again. You got to
Right.
be able to somehow take that. This is hurt. I'm going to break my neck. I'm going to, something's going to happen, and just push it all to the side and move through it again. And
Right.
that's got to be a skill in its own. People too many times we find, I give the analogy to people sometimes. You can go by, if everybody that I see today tells me they like my shirt, and then one person says, oh, that shirt doesn't really look right. It's in the back of my mind. And I think that's with everybody, and that's something that I think, kids today, one little negative comment and with online and the people that'll put comments here, the meanness that, can be out there, and the negativity can potentially stop people from doing things like this, where for you had to push all that to the side and go do the flip again.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think people need to take the negativity that they're hearing, push it to the side, and just keep pursuing their dream. So.
Right. Well, first of all, Johnny's going to give me a big head after this interview, saying all of his sweet stuff. But yeah, no, that's so true. I think I've gotten the question a lot of did you have mental blocks as a gymnast, or how do you get over your fears? And, yes, of course, in anything you're going to have fears, and especially in a sport like gymnastics, it's scary that the skills and the tricks you're doing are dangerous. And yes, you can hurt yourself, but you can either choose to focus on that, or you can put that in the back of your mind. Like, obviously there are going to be some thoughts like that there sometimes, but for me, this was always a hard question to answer, because I always felt like going for it and giving it my full potential, each turn was going to end up better. It was definitely going to end up better than if I, had stopped or didn't give it my all for that turn. And, I learned that by experience and seeing like, okay, when I get scared and like, I don't go for it all the way, like it ends badly. But at least if I go for it and I try, I might still fall or whatever, but it's not going to be near as bad. And, I just always wanted to try these new and scary and fun skills. And I just was able to somehow separate the fear aspect, and wanting to do it and just go for it, and know that like if my coach was telling me I can do something, believing that I can do it, not getting inside like my own fear. I think that was a big thing that was always, if your coach is telling you that you can do something and they're there and they're, whatever, like, then you can do it, go for it and get that fear out of your mind.
Awesome. So jumping back for a second, Brian, you're going to help us. You'll be in touch with us as this invitation. Is that what we call it? The invitational? Is that what competition? Is that the right word? Am I learning?
Correct. Yeah.
Getting educated here. So you'll tell us when that's going on. You're right now obviously having to work logistics with COVID-19, and that's obviously a damper for everything right now. But I think you guys were originally talking about, this is something minus COVID-19. This was something that was, near future. This wasn't, years away. This was something you guys were trying to get off the ground pretty soon. Never.
Yeah, we selected a date, and we had to move the date, but it's the 12th through the 14th of February next year, and we're still planning. We're still planning to host the event, figuring that everything's going to get back to normal and we won't be social distancing as much or what have you. But I think at some point life's going to get back to normal, and we'll host the event. And it's I have a lot of friends because I put out some feelers because I helped host another really large meet in Houston before I came to buy Elite, the Houston National Invitational. And I put out some feelers to those guys, and a lot of them would like to come and participate in the event, the girls teams and the boys teams. And so that's kind of a cool thing that we'll actually hold a meet with both genres of the sport in the same facility. It'll be really cool.
That sounds awesome. Well, definitely keep us updated on that. I think we're bumping up close on time here. Is there anything anybody's got, just burning to get off your chest that we've forgotten to, talk about today? I'm kind of reading through some notes, trying to make sure we get everybody's voice heard. I feel like I'm just kind of took a lot of Carly's time here, but I think that was well spent. So
that's good. The fear issue, and we talk about gymnastics, and people say practice make perfect. You think about it, gymnasts practice all day long, falling and getting up, doing it over and over again. So gymnasts know how to fall and bounce back. The ordinary child that don't take gymnastics have no idea what it feels to fall, and you have no idea what it is to bounce back. Back is about confidence. Let me try it again. Do it. And these are the very simple concepts. So from young age, when you have the ability to understand that you can do it, when you become older, you got more challenges, you can do it because you have experiences as simple as doing a forward roll and doing it again at the age of 3 versus doing a double front at the age of 16 or go to college or whatever. The concepts are the same. So gymnasts are pretty great athletes that do amazing things and go on. Great foundation, as Carl mentioned. So
you just gave me a flashback to high school. An old coach, if he ever happens to find the video, he's still here in Baton Rouge. M.L. Woodruff used to say, it wasn't practice made perfect. It was perfect practice made perfect. So that's, I had that ingrained in my head, in my baseball days. So long time ago, but that's the memory that's jumping back. So, but no, I appreciate that, Johnny.
That's good. I would, when kids are about 4 or 5 years old, we're going to give them a complimentary burst apart. I can see how they can jump on it.
See if we can do it. Have a do-over, right? You got 2 chances. It sounds like you can do this. So 2
it's
chances
funny
as of
both
right
my
now.
kids do, and not from my own doing or from them even seeing it, but they both love to go on their head. Graham does a really good. My 2-year-old does a really good forward roll, and none of these things I have, taught him. And then I find my little one, trying to do this, my daughter trying to do the same thing. And it's just where, why are y'all even doing, where did you get that from?
I would
is
like
gymnastics
to be,
in the blood?
I would like to be the fly on the wall. As your kids get a little bit older, you'll see they hit these little pre-K programs in the first grade, and it seems like every school has somebody that comes in and they do these like little tumbling things and, you know, teach them how to do stuff. I would love to just sit there, watch them show up in the room, and then like kind of have you walk in and be like, yeah, tell me how you're going to teach my kid how to do this, you know, and just kind of see how that conversation goes over. So,
well, I would
right.
much rather other people coach the kids because I never had the passion for coaching, which is why I'm not a coach. And I don't, you know, own my own gym or anything. I had the passion for actually, you know, doing it and being the gymnast. So there are other people like Johnny that are gifted in being a great coach and just knowing what to do in that way, in that realm. And that is not me.
Awesome. Well, I think it's also, I think we, you know, we sold Johnny short. I think it's also, you know, Johnny's done this Olympics twice, right? Yeah. You know, I think we forgot to talk about Johnny's
done
three times.
Yeah, and 5 world championships, Johnny. 5 world championships.
Yeah.
Johnny's talking nice about everybody.
Way more big events than me.
So maybe we need to. The last time Brian and we all talked, I kind of called everybody out saying that we needed to get you, Carly. We need to get Reagan. I think there was Ashley. There's somebody else trying to get everybody on, you know, a big call. And it occurred to me, since the last time we recorded, I think we definitely should get everybody, Johnny included. Brian, let's get everybody. I've started actually getting questions coming in from the last video on the Olympics. What are they going to do? You know, that's, you know, a big question that a lot of people are starting to ask. I know you guys aren't necessarily the Olympic Committee, but you're probably more qualified to talk about how those things happen. So maybe one of these days we can kind of bring everybody into a call, get a bunch of people talk shop about what they've done, what's happening, you know, what's the plan going forward, how does this affect training, you know, those kind of things, and make it something fun to where the people that are really into gymnastics can get a lot of that history and get it from people that are experienced, people that know, learn a little bit more about the gym. But also, I think this format is rough as it comes out. I think it's conversational. We're all just talking here. It's not edited. We're not writing scripts. We're not in studios. It's more laid back. And I think if people take the time, I think they'll enjoy it. And that's kind of where we developed What's What BR, to give everybody that information, let businesses such as Brian's Elite, you know, be able to talk about what they're doing. Elite still, I see them every day. We're helping, you know, get the word out. You know, they're pushing content, live classes, and, you know, exercise routines every day with, you know, his staff over there. So we appreciate you, you know, Brian, for that. Carly, I appreciate the time today. We've taken much of it. I need to give you some more break time since you've got nap time where you can take a break. I know how that works.
All good.
Hey, Brandon, I just do one last thing before we cut out is I need to thank these two guys and for doing this. You know, I'm the new guy on the block. Johnny built the gym, started in 1989, built the gym, and then he sold it and hasn't been, you know, owning the gym and running the gym day to day for several years. And Carly is, you know, did the Olympics and she's become a mom and moved on in life. But I think it says a lot that the new guy who comes to town just, you know, last September can get the support from the past people that made this gym club great, and more than a gym club, made the facility come to life. Reagan sent me a message after our chat on what was that, Monday or Tuesday, whenever that was, whatever day we did that. I know the days have been running together.
That day.
Yeah. So she said, you know, it's really great that you came to the gym and you brought it back to life. And I said, you know, I got to make a point of that. And, you know, part of doing that is getting the support from Johnny. I've got just priceless amount of support from Johnny, and it's been wonderful. And then Carly comes back and she's like, what can I do for the gym too? And I think that speaks volumes, not for me, but it speaks volumes to them, seeing that, hey, someone wants to bring the place that meant so much to so many people back to life and provide the community with what we had as we grew up. And I think that says a lot to these two guys for coming on and supporting me and helping me and doing all that we can to, you know, make Elite the great place for kids and families to come and enjoy sports and gymnastics.
That's awesome.
Well, Brian, yeah, we all recognize that you have the personality and the will to do it. So we're standing behind you because you got what it takes to help young children to great experience. So we know that. Athlete, when I call them and I say, look, Brian have the same philosophy as myself. They say, problem, what can we do? So kudos to you. You have what it takes. Never give up, and don't let anything hold you back. We got you back. So keep it up, make it bigger.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It does. And I appreciate it. So.
All right. Well, with that, good words, good kind words from everybody, I'm going to bring us to a close. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Long format video again today. It's what we needed to get the information out. Thank you, Brian, Carly, Johnny. Thank you all for being part of it. We'll do it again soon. I think it's fun. Good conversations. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That was fun.
Thanks, Brandon. See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.